Yes, I am very, very upset this morning. I'm very upset this night. I could not sleep the whole night. I could not sleep the whole night. And my blatant thoughts on Chelsea match is what I want to give out. This is my blatant thought regarding all that transpired yesterday. This performance is unacceptable. It is unacceptable by any stretch of imagination. It is unacceptable. As a Chelsea fan, it is unacceptable by any stretch of imagination. We talk about the game. We've been talking about this game before it even started. Before it even started. Look, Pochettino, you lost the game right from the bench. You lost this match right from the bench. At the time that Chelsea, we thought we were on top of the game, you now made those substitutions. Apart from Kenny Chukwuemeka, who scored a goal and got injured, you have no reason to change any other player. You have no reason. You know that Casado is not fully prepared, and that is why you put him on the bench. You know, psychologically, you know that the guy is not fully prepared. That is why you put him on the bench. Why then did you bring him on? At the time that we were chasing the game, look, this game was lost by the doing and actions of our coach. Pochettino, you gave out this game. You sold out this game. Let me use the word. Because there was no reason to take off Gallagher. There was no reason to substitute Ben Chilwell. There was no reason. First half, yes, even with the penalty that we had, to tell you that the 11 players that were on the field at that moment, they were doing their best at that moment. Until we lost that penalty, everything was going very well. I wouldn't blame Enzo that much for missing that penalty. It can happen to any player. It can happen to any player. Not that he just passed the ball. He played the ball well. He shot the ball. The keeper, credits to the keeper. Credit to West Ham keeper. He saved that ball clean, fine. That could have even given us the advantage. If he had scored a goal, that would have been an advantage for us. 2-1 first half. Maybe from there, the game would have changed. But when we missed that penalty, even after that, the game was still ongoing. Second half started. The game was ongoing until Chukwuemeka's injury. Nothing warrants a change at that moment. You are the coach, you know better. But what you know better is what cost us yesterday's game. It is you that cost us yesterday's game. You cost us what we are going through. I am upset this morning. I'm sick from my stomach. I had sleepless nights. Look. How do we look just like that? 3-1. When we're supposed to be up 2-1. How? You cannot explain what exactly happened. You as the coach, you can't explain what exactly happened. I have your voice there, and I'll be playing that very soon. You can't explain exactly what happened. You can't explain exactly what happened. Now, to about 70th minute, there was a red card. It became man advantage. Man advantage. Chelsea, with all the players we have, even on the bench. What was Maatsen doing there? If you want to make a change after, what was Maatsen doing there? Or Maatsen, what was he doing there? Now, Chukwuemeka, who scored a goal, had an injury. You want to make a substitution. Yes, rightly so. But you have to know instead, know who to bring in at that moment. You have to know who to bring in at that moment. You cost us the game. That is my blatant thought. It is the coach that cost Chelsea the match yesterday. You cost us the match yesterday. 3 points is gone. We are in deficit. In 2 games, we consider how many goals? 4 goals. In 2 games, Chelsea considered 4 goals. And you know what that means? We are almost at the beneath of the table. In 2 games, we considered 4 goals. Just calculate, just check it very. Don't tell me that the season just began. That is how it is always. If you don't, you start on a wrong foot. That is how it will continue. That is how it will continue. Nobody should put the blame on Caicedo. He was not prepared mentally before he was brought on. Caicedo was not ready for the match before he was brought on. If Caicedo was fully prepared, Caicedo would have started the match from first minute. He would have started from first minute. And the coaches, they know that he was not prepared. That is why they put him on bench until that moment. Did you bring him on to come and recover our deficit, or to come and... what was the reason for bringing him on? If you know that he has the energy, the ability to play at that time of the match, then you should also believe that he could have started the game. It would have been better if he had started the game. He would have grown into the match. He would have grown confidence into the match. But you brought him on when things were going bad. Now you see him everywhere. His tackles foul. I think I clearly saw him 2 tackles before then was a foul. Before he gave out the penalty. That is a player that was lacking confidence. Because the media for the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks was so much focused on him. The price tag on him is a burden that he's carrying right now. He needed a good hand that will, psychologically, that will work on him. Not to bring him at the time of the game where the game was at that level. Apart from Raheem Sterling and Enzo Fernandez in maybe first half some displays, controlling the game from midfield. Raheem Sterling, every other player yesterday in the match, flat. Raheem Sterling and, Kane Chukwuemeka for the goal he scored. Raheem Sterling, Kane Chukwuemeka for the goal he scored. Then Enzo Fernandez. Every other player on the day, flat. Tell me, let me hear from the comment section, which player do you think outperformed to their own standard? Tell me, which of the players? Raheem Sterling, that many people doubted, and I kept saying it from preseason, that the guy is rediscovering himself. He's getting there, he's coming back. Raheem Sterling, Kane Chukwuemeka for scoring that goal. If we can handle Kane Chukwuemeka's injury very well, I believe he'll come back stronger. And I pray that injury will not be so serious. Nicholas Jackson was out of the game. He was lost in the game. Like the coach said before, that his partnership with Nkuku, since we lost Nkuku, it looks like, since we lost Nkuku, Jackson is also missing. Jackson is also lost. So did we buy Jackson because of only Nkuku on the field? The coach was supposed to rediscover what else can work without Nkuku in that squad. That is the duty of the coach. He's supposed to rediscover what else can work out. Who can partner Jackson up front? There were times that Jackson was isolated. There were times that he was isolated. He was alone up front there. Doing what? I saw clearly 2 true passes to him, which he could not even get to. Because there were 2 defenders of West Ham that were on him. These are my blunt thoughts. Chelsea's game yesterday was flat. West Ham deserved to win. They deserved to, because they took every of their chances perfectly. Our next game against Luton, that should be a trial match. That should not be called, for me personally, that should be a trial match. So even if we are to win that game next weekend or this coming weekend, I wouldn't count that as a good performance. Go back and watch the match with Liverpool, especially the second half. That should be the standard of Chelsea. And we should have improved upon that in this week. We should have improved upon that yesterday. Chelsea should have improved upon that standard, the second half display with Liverpool yesterday. That is how it's supposed to be. We should have improved upon that. But we now came back below even the standard of the first half of Liverpool. My blatant thought, Chelsea's game yesterday was flat. Do you get me? It was flat. I'll come your way again with the next review about this match later. That'll be my last video for the day. Shalom and peace.
What we saw on the pitch didn't reflect the situation and the game, but we need to accept that football is like this, and more in the Premier League, and a team like West Ham that can create chances from nowhere. I think we are guilty of to concede this type of action and to give the possibility to score in the way that only can score. That is why I think we need to be disappointed. We are disappointed. We need to improve in many areas. Yes, we cannot be happy, but on the end, I think we lose, and we need to accept the defeat. But we need to, from now, to start to think in Friday and be strong and move on and prepare in the best way and in Stamford Bridge to be strong and win the game.
There were so many positives, as you alluded to, especially in that first 45 minutes today, weren't there?
Yes, I think was the first 45 minutes. I was really good. Unlucky that we missed the penalty, and we cannot go to the half-time with 2-1. But I think we really deserve the result, a positive result. And that is football. That we need to accept that sometimes happen, and in the beginning of the season, sometimes can happen this type of thing. We need to be strong. We need to be calm and keep working.
Raheem Sterling looked very dynamic as well in that first 45. Is that the sort of performance you're looking for from him?
Yes, I think it's what we wanted from our player. I think he was good. Unlucky because the feeling, you cannot get the right feeling because you lose the game. But he was like another player. They play well. Yeah, very disappointed with the result. Doesn't reflect the performance, but we need to accept that is football.
Mixed afternoon for Carney, scoring his first goal, but then going off with the injury. Is it too early to say how bad that is?
Yeah, we cannot talk. We need to assess the player, but I think it's tomorrow. Hope that it's not a big issue.
And finally, like you suggested, Maurizio, it's a quick turnaround from 3 games back-to-back at Stamford.